Hey everyone, welcome to Area 616. A couple of weeks ago, 4 original shows were announced for Disney's upcoming streaming service, all of which are set to debut in 2019. One will be an animated series set in the world of Monsters Incorporated. Another will be a High School Musical TV series. However, the two most interesting ones, for many, are the first ever live-action Star Wars TV series and then a new addition to the MCU with a Marvel show. I think I'll make a video on the Star Wars show around the time The Last Jedi is coming out, but today, in honor of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. starting its 5th season tonight, I wanted to ask just what Marvel show will be on Disney's streaming service. The first question to really ask here is just what kind of show Disney is wanting here. Are they looking for darker, grittier shows like those on Netflix? Or are they looking for something lighter and more carefree like, say, Agent Carter? To answer that question, I've looked to the other shows they announced, and it's a bit hard to say. Certainly the Monsters Incorporated and High School Musical shows will be more kid-friendly, of course. As for the Star Wars one, that one's a bit harder to predict. There's rumors this show will be a darker, more street-level Star Wars show, giving fans a world we got glimpses of in Rogue One. Which makes sense. I mean, this is a TV show. They can only do so much with their budget, so making it more street-level would probably work better. However, even then, Star Wars is still relatively family-friendly. I mean, their weapons literally cauterize the wounds upon impact so that they don't bleed, so this could end up being a darker Star Wars experience, of course, but it's probably never going to be Blade Runner. But I do think it will end up being a darker Star Wars show. So with that in mind, it kind of sounds like Disney is setting up different age groups for their shows. Kids with Monsters Incorporated, preteens with High School Musical, and teens with Star Wars. So with that in mind, it's not super far-fetched to assume that they might put the Marvel one as the more adult-oriented show on their service. Marvel's TV shows have a history of being darker and more violent than their movies. Even shows on ABC like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. push the limits of their ratings sometimes in violence. And I think this is smart for Marvel Television. They can be the more R-rated division of Marvel. It's what sets them apart. So with all that said, let's say this show is rated TVMA and will be darker. In that case, my guess is that this might finally be Gabriel Luna's Ghost Rider show. I may be a bit biased, as I've established in the past. I really love Ghost Rider and want him to get his own show. My evidence is that it has been reported that Disney is putting quite a bit of money into these shows, so that they are impressive from the start. Ghost Rider is an expensive character that needs a relatively high budget. We know for a fact that the Star Wars show will have, at the very least, 6 to 8 million per episode, as that's what it would need. That's also the amount a Ghost Rider show would need, based on the budget for the 10 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that he was in. With all that said, it's possible they might want to do a less expensive character, at least to start off with. In that case, I think we could see Moon Knight. Moon Knight is a darker, more violent character, but he's also nowhere near as expensive as Ghost Rider would be. Many thought he'd be on Netflix, but because of all this, Netflix isn't allowed to make any more Marvel shows, besides the ones they have, so he probably won't be. Another option is Blade. Again, dark and violent, but not super expensive. The only downside to this one is that Kevin Feige has expressed interest in making a Blade movie in the future, but I think he's just too R-rated for the movies. Personally, I'd like to see all 3 of these shows exist here so that they can cross over and all that, but if I had to pick one, I'd of course prefer Ghost Rider. Disney is going to want to pull out the big guns to draw as many people to their new service as possible, which means they'll want their shows to look not only high quality, but big and impressive. Ghost Rider would draw that crowd, as not only is he very effects heavy, people would recognize him from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., as his appearance in that show actually caused an increase in viewership. However, I also want to say it's possible they might want a lighter show here. Maybe they don't want any more adult content on their service. That'd be a bit disappointing, but if that's the case, I'd say this could be a Miss Marvel show, Kamala Khan. Now, personally, ever since some recent rumors came out about the Young Avengers and their MCU future, which I made a video about, link at the end of this one, but ever since that, I'm expecting Kamala to get her own movie. I feel she'd work really well on TV, especially as that's where all the Inhuman stuff is, but I also feel like she'll be a part of this Young Avengers team if that happens. Plus, she'd be a big win in the diversity department for Marvel Studios, something they're really looking for, and something Marvel Television already has in spades. But with that said, I personally am betting on the Marvel show to be about Ghost Rider. It really is the best place for him to be, as, well, it's probably the only place that could really afford him. Whoever it is will probably likely know by this time next year. I really expect them to announce a ton of details about this service and the original shows on it at next year's D23, Disney's yearly fan expo. Typically this expo happens in early August, however this year it was in early July, just about a week before the San Diego Comic-Con. No dates have been announced for it in 2018, but that is ultimately where I expect this show to be announced. But what do you guys think this show is? Let me know all your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
It's much less picturesque without her catching the light. The horizon tries, but it's just not as kind on the eye.